Hey guys, Brian here from Renshaw's PT. Today's video, we're going to be going over 3 things that you got to stop doing for your triceps in order to make them grow. Alright guys, so I hope you're training smart. Good to talk to you, good to see you. Keep working hard this week. Keep focusing on your form like always. It's a never-ending battle. Leave the ego at the door when you go into the gym or you go into your home gym. Remember that. Just a quick reminder to you all to always just keep training smart. And in relation to today's video, we're going to be talking about triceps here. With the triceps, I see a lot of mistakes being made at the gym every single time I go. And I just definitely want to point these out to you to make sure you're not making the same mistakes, because we're all about optimizing the time that we're in the gym. Don't want to waste any time. Want to make our best of it. So let's go over that, guys. Let's go over the 3 simple things that I see happening frequently from the gym, from people reaching out to me online, just in general. First thing is going to be shoulder motions, okay? And keep in mind, when you're moving your shoulder with any tricep exercise, this is more noticeable with push down movements. This is going to generate momentum, and we don't want momentum if we're trying to isolate the tricep as much as possible. You will feel like if you're moving your shoulder forward and backward, you could generate more weight that you're using, and you think using more weight is going to get your arms bigger. But once again, we go back to keep training smart, and your muscle doesn't really know the weight you're giving it. It only knows the tension that you're giving it. So how can we isolate the triceps as much as possible? And that's by keeping the shoulders stationary. Okay, so not moving the shoulders at all when we're doing, especially push down movements, skull crushers, anything in general. You want to kind of keep them stationary so that you're only flexing and extending your elbow. Okay, and that's what you should be noticing. The only part moving on your arm is just the elbow flexing and extending, contracting your tricep, isolating it as much as possible. You're going to get a lot better results doing that. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is going to be full range of motion. I know it sounds simple and you might think I'm crazy and no one does this at the gym, but guys, you'd be surprised. I do observe things a lot at the gym. It's just my nature. It's in my DNA to want to help people. So when you're seeing people doing half motions or little pulsing motions, this is a big no-no. The only time that this is actually okay is if it's at the end of your set. If you're doing a burnout or a pulsing set, this would be, in my opinion, considered kind of like pushing your muscle past failure, which is fine. But when you're doing this at the beginning of your set, and you're just trying to think it's going to keep constant tension or whatnot, you're missing out on huge benefits of that full range of motion with that full extension and that full flexion all the way up on top. The tricep, you're going to feel the contraction the most actually when you're full extension and you're pushing it down towards your chest. Okay, you're actually going to feel it like it wants to cramp up. So imagine you're just not getting that full entire extension. You're going to be missing out on huge benefits of your triceps and huge growth and gains, and we don't want to do that. Okay, so full range of motion, easier said than done, but focus on that, guys. Slow down the speed and get that. That's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is going to be not including any overhead movements. Now, why are overhead movements so important? The reason why the overhead movement is so important is because it targets the long head of your tricep, which actually takes up the most space in your arm. Okay, in order to do this, we have to push our arm over our head, get a full entire stretch, and that's going to really help target that deep stretch in the long head of the tricep. Okay, so not including any overhead movements in general is a huge mistake. You're going to be missing out on a lot of gains, just neglecting that angle for your triceps. So once again, doing your push downs, doing your skull crushers, anything in general, but try to include some overhead movements from time to time to help stimulate the long head of the tricep. Now, if your elbow starts to hurt a lot doing any overhead movements, that's understandable, but you might want to switch to doing it with cables. So grabbing a single cable, going over your head, grabbing a rope, going over the head. Something to do with the cables makes it a little bit easier on the elbows, but also make sure to go lighter, focus on slower speeds, and your joint will feel better just overall. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Apply these 3 simple tips. You'll see immediate benefits in the gym or at your home gym. Keep training smart, especially as you age. And that's going to be it. I'll be seeing you in the next video. If you do need help, guys, with a custom program, Once again, links in the description. Go ahead and get started on that. I'll be happy to help you reach to your next level, okay? So if you are ready for that, click the link. Otherwise, guys, I will be talking and seeing you soon. Keep training smart.